In this edition of the BCA Club School of the Month, we go to the Vaughan School, an institution that has produced many outstanding cricketers. We are excited. This is we. I'm here with Sam Skeet at the Vaughan School in the beautiful island of Barbados. Sam, how are you doing?
Not too bad at all, Mr. Leslie.
We are at a ground that only a few moments ago, the under 15 competition is on. Sam, you've been a physical education teacher here for just under 2 decades. I want to know, as a physical education teacher and obviously a coach, how has your experience been generally working with these young boys at the school?
Well, first of all, it has been a great pleasure coming to the Vaughan School under the leadership of Mr. Quinton, a great person who have mentored me very, professionally within the course of time that I've been here. He has retired now, but in it all, it has been great.
Mr. Quinton, I know he's one of the stalwarts, along with many others that you can call, but the talent that you see here at the Vaughan School over the years, how has that been in terms of working with the natural ability of these young men?
Well, we've had some great talent. Coming off the mind, we had Javelika, who is a national, Kelvin Marcus, but you also have the Smith boys. And then we go to Brooks, who captained the Barbados on the 19. We had some young players like Dave Lovell, who played on the 19 as well, and the Kaya Worrell. We've had our share of good youngsters coming through the Vaughan School.
Well, Sam, one of the things about facilities at these different venues, I just went to another school in Barbados. This facility has covers. I know over the years there are persons like Nigel Newton and others who worked here as curators. How has the general support been for the game that you actually work with, not just physical education, but the cricket over the years that you've been here?
I would generally say that, throughout the years, it's had its ups and downs, but nevertheless, we've had some principals here like Mr. Barker, God bless his soul, he's passed, Miss Wilson, who took charge and make sure that our cricketing and all other sporting events and teams were looked after. So all in all, it has been good. We've had the majority of our principals, I will say, that love the game of cricket. We have a principal now who's very keen, and Mistress Holder, who is also a lover of cricket, as I've seen. And so all in all, it has been good. Mr. Newton, as you know, he have, I would say, probably assist me in many areas, and the guys enjoyed him. I guess he enjoyed the guys. He may be able to tell you stories of cooking and baking, and then when he look in, there's nothing there. Yes. All the boys. So all in all, it has been good.
I'm here at the Vaughan School with a really long time friend in Nigel Newton. How are you doing, Nigel?
I'm good, Leslie.
Nigel, this facility, Vaughan School here, has cricket covers. Some people complain about different facilities. You spent close to 20 years here as a head curator. How was the experience and the support from most of the staff here while you were here at the Vaughan School?
Well, first we had a good head teacher. We started with Ezra Barker, who had a vision for the school in terms of cricket. He loved cricket, so he gave support to me and the cricket program. So it was a good experience. Along with the BCA, I must say that BCA played a significant role in Vaughan, because the BCA used Vaughan as their home ground. From the time I came here around 88, BCA used Vaughan as their home ground for Barbados Youth, common school at the start, and then Barbados Youth. So BCA would have played a significant role in the development of Vaughan. But along the way, we would have had strong leadership, as I said, Mr. Barker and the other head teachers that came after.
Well, one of the wonderful things about being at Vaughan and having that support, I remember a lot of runs being scored here on a consistent basis. Pitches were always very good. What type of preparation or work would have gone into preparing those pitches on that consistent basis?
Well, I would say that I came to a system at my former school, law school, where hard work was the thing. And I came to Vaughan, and I could have taken it a little bit easy, because I find that Vaughan was a little bit lax, more so than Lodge. But I decided that I would continue to work. I would continue to work hard. So I always had a good routine. I would come on mornings and I would start my pitch. I would spend at least 3 hours preparing, grassing, rolling, and that kind of thing. So after 3 hours, I would have had out my pitch basically, and then I would just do a little bit more work and then take lunch and come back. So I also put a lot of work. There's a lot of work and a lot of hours I put into it. And being a sportsman, somebody that loved cricket, it was something that I love also. So I had joy in what I was doing. It wasn't something I was doing that I was vexed about. I always had a joy and I would say, I won't say excitement, but when you produce something perfect, or something good, you had that appreciation for it. So that was my motivation to go on and work hard so as to produce good pitches.
But Nigel, you were part of a team that just produced some wonderful pitches at Keston Oval for the recently concluded ICC World Cup, T20 World Cup.
Yeah.
And that type of preparation would have probably been, and that's a basically natural progression from what you would have done here at Leicester Vaughan and, as you said, at Law School and other places. But preparing those pitches and seeing the improvement as the tournament went on, what type of pleasure did that give you?
Well, I guess that was my greatest moment in terms of my work. Because as you would know, we started out with a little low and probably a little slow, but we improved. Every pitch after that was a great pitch. But even with that game, that first game, started really well because we had the first ball with the wicket. Keston Oval, the World Cup in Barbados started first ball wicket, second ball wicket.
Yes.
And then we had, I was a low score, but I thought the two teams play to their strength. They were not the two strongest teams. And even though I would admit that the pitch probably would have contributed to the low score, I thought a stronger team would do better. But we ended up with a tie and a super over.
Yeah.
So that was really a great game. And we continued the process with the washout with Ireland and England. Remember, Ireland was 90 out without loss inside 10 overs. So it was a progression.
Yeah.
And they all climatized with the grand final, which I thought was a really good pitch. I was hoping for 200. I thought it was a 200 pitch, but after India lost 3 wickets in power play, as if we that know cricket would know that when you lose 3 wickets in power play, you always struggle. But they came back to get a good score because the pitch was an excellent pitch, and they managed to defend it. So I had a good World Cup. I think that was the crowning glory of my career. So even if my career had a finish, which is coming closer in term, because you can't go on forever, age is a factor. So if I have to finish, I might have to finish at the end of this year. I think I had a good run. I think, and that would be a great way to finish. Still got CPL this year to finish, and I think England coming too. So still got a couple more tournaments, but I would say that the World Cup for me was my biggest achievement so far in my career.
And Nigel, I can say for myself, the Barbados Cricket Association, and many Barbadians, that your work has not gone unnoticed. If you consider World Cup your crowning glory, we want to thank you for all the work that you've done for all of those years. You said about 18 years at Leicester Vaughan, just about 17 or so at the law school. That's 3.5 decades. And we want to thank you for the contribution, and we want to wish you all the very best in the future.
Thank you very much.
Well, Sam, I remember meeting you some 35 years ago at a club called Empire Club in Bank Hall, and you were someone that we all looked to being a bustling fast bowler, very talented all-round cricketer. But your journey, not the traditional one, went on to play for Barbados senior team and also West Indies A. Can you give me a little bit of insight in how representing that wonderful club and your own journey as a cricketer?
Oh, really and truly, I didn't came through the system. I will say, on the 13, on the 16, I've never played that cricket. There was a game at St. John the Baptist. England brought a side down here with Keith Atherton and the others, Hussein, and I was asked to play in that game. And I was wicket-keeping because I prefer to wicket-keep than that. I think England was probably at 220 something for about 3 or 2 in about 15 overs. And I decided, well, I had enough. I've seen enough. I took the pads off. So I said, I need a ball. And guys asked me, what are you doing? I said, watch me. So I took the ball and just take it and ran up. The first ball probably went over into the road by Sebat. And that was my journey.
Wow. I mean, Sam, playing for Barbados, you know, lots of fast bowlers over the years. You were one of the successful ones. Would you say that the fast bowling stock, despite some of us talking about how West Indies may be in terms of being really not as strong as before, but do we still have a lot of young, talented, quick bowlers coming through the system?
I would say, well, not really a lot of them, because when you look around now and you see the type of cricket that we are playing, and you may have a fast bowler from one side, and then obviously we have a lot of slow bowlers. So I believe that we need really to tap in to the youngsters that are really interested in bowling quickly. There's some out there that we need to do some work with, but all in all, it can still be repaired. Simple.
Wonderful. And finally, Sam, the support that persons like these young boys get from not just individuals like yourself, but maybe relatives, some other friends. I remember on the 15 level, when you played, you would have had 200-300 on average watching the game. Now it's a lot different, but what do you think really can help with those support individuals, not just people like you as a coach, but how can parents and maybe relatives really get these young men to express themselves?
I believe that cricket in this time has so much competition. Once upon a time it was cricket in the village, cricket being played between houses, cricket even played on, I believe, on rooftops.
Yeah.
Now cricket has a challenge, whereas it has so many sports, and the young people in this time, you realize that there's so many gadgets and so many games to play. So instead of coming outside because the sun is too hot, they can stay home now and play all kind of sports or video games. So, but there are still parents that I think that has a deep interest in the sport with their children. But I think the main thing right now is that cricket is a very expensive sport.
Yeah.
And I must applaud the BCA for providing cricket clothing and balls and that kind of thing that can make it a bit easier.
Yeah.
But we definitely need now to foster a bigger interest from the parent and from that said child to be able to go forward.
Well, Sam, it's really indeed been a pleasure for me to be able to sit here today and get a bit of an insight into what you do here at Leicester Vaughan. We do this feature on a monthly basis, and having the opportunity to speak with you, a former cricketer, person who understands development, it's indeed been a pleasure.
Same here, sir.